Hello friends, welcome back to a new video on AB coins, the Australian 2-cent coin, featuring a frilled neck lizard on the reverse and a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, was minted from 1966 to 1989. Here's a detailed overview of the 1966, 1969, 1973, 1974, and 1989 issues, focusing on mintage figures, circulation conditions, and values. The 1973 Australia Elizabeth II 2-cent coin, including mintage, circulation, and uncirculated conditions, proof version, and approximate value. Denomination, 2 cents. Country, Australia. Year, 1973. Obverse, Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. Reverse, frill-necked lizard, Chlamydosaurus kingii, designed by Stuart Devlin. Composition, bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. Diameter, 21.59 millimeters. Weight, 5.18 grams. Edge, plain. The Australian 2-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 during the switch to decimal currency. By 1973, these coins were well integrated into everyday use. The coin featured the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, reflecting Australia's status as a constitutional monarchy under the British Crown. Mintage, 1973, 66,590,000. Mint location, Royal Australian Mint, Canberra. These coins were circulated across all Australian states and territories, including New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, Tasmania, Northern Territory, and the Australian Capital Territory. Common circulated value, about 10 cents to 50 cents AUD, depending on wear. Condition, most coins show signs of wear due to extensive circulation in the 1970s, 1990s. Heavily worn coins have minimal collector value. Uncirculated value, MS60, MS65 between $1 and $5 Australian dollars. Uncirculated coins are relatively affordable but harder to find as most were used in daily transactions. Mint state examples with full original luster and no wear are collectible. Proof coins for 1973 were not struck individually for general sale, they were only available in 1973 Australian proof sets. Proof value, a 1973 proof 2-cent coin alone may fetch $10 to $20 AUD, depending on condition. The full 1973 proof set is more valuable, approximate $100 to $200 AUD, depending on condition and packaging. Mint mark, no visible mint mark, standard for Royal Australian Mint coins from this period. Script, Latin alphabet used, legends read. Obverse, Elizabeth II Australia 1973. Reverse, no legend, features the frilled neck lizard. Would you like help identifying if your coin is uncirculated or proof using a photo? The 1989 Australia Elizabeth II 2-cent coin, covering its history, geography, mintage, design, circulation versus uncirculated conditions, and collector/proof value. This script could be used for educational or numismatic purposes. The 2-cent coin was a part of Australia's decimal currency system introduced on February 14, 1966, replacing the pre-decimal penny. By 1989, Australia had already spent over 2 decades adapting to decimalization, and the 2-cent coin had become a common feature of daily commerce. The 1989 2-cent coin, bearing the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, was minted during the later years of its general circulation, as the denomination was soon to be phased out due to rising production costs and limited purchasing power. In fact, the 2-cent coin was officially withdrawn from circulation in 1992, just a few years after the 1989 issue. Country of issue, Australia. Mint location, Royal Australian Mint, Canberra. Monarch depicted, Queen Elizabeth II, who served as Australia's head of state during the time. Era, reign of Queen Elizabeth II, 1952 to 2022. Australia's decision to feature Queen Elizabeth II was in keeping with Commonwealth tradition, with the monarch serving as a symbol of continuity and constitutional stability. Denomination, 2 cents. Year of issue, 1989. Metal composition, bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. Mass, 5.18 grams. Diameter, 21.59 millimeters. Edge, plain. Shape, round. Obverse, front. Designer, Raphael Maclauf. Description, portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, with the inscription, Elizabeth II. Australia 1989. Maclauf's portrait was introduced in 1985 and remained on coins until 1998. It was known for its more sculptural and formal presentation of the Queen. Designer, Stuart Devlin. Description, an Australian frilled neck lizard, Chlamydosaurus kingii, mid-pose with frill extended. Below the lizard is the denomination 2. Devlin was Australia's official goldsmith and a frequent designer of national coins. His depiction of native fauna brought iconic status to many Australian coins. Circulated mintage, 1989, approximately 16.6 million coins. Mint, Royal Australian Mint, no mint mark. Circulation status, general circulation coin. The 1989 2-cent coin was issued for wide public use. It was never released in mint sets or proof sets for that year. Found in change during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Common wear includes scratches, dulling of the surface, and worn edges. Value in average circulated condition is typically 2 to 10 cents, primarily sentimental or copper melt value. Coins preserved in mint condition with no signs of handling. Can be acquired from private collectors or through numismatic auctions. Value in uncirculated condition can range from $1.50 to $5 depending on eye appeal and grade. No official proof issue was made for the 1989 2-cent coin. Any proof-like coins on the market are either unofficial strikes or polished examples. While the 1989 2-cent coin isn't rare in circulated grades, it is sought after by decimal collectors seeking complete year sets. Fans of Australian wildlife coins. Investors in withdrawn denominations. Estimated values, 2024 to 2025 market. Circulated, good, very fine 2 cents to 20 cents AUD. Uncirculated, UNC, MS 65 $1.50 to $5. Proof-like, if available $5 to $15, private mints or polished specimens. Note, condition grading, e.g., MS60, MS65, significantly impacts value. Full red, mint-fresh specimens are more valuable. The frilled neck lizard design remains one of Australia's most beloved decimal coin motifs. Its striking pose and native symbolism embody Australia's unique biodiversity. Economically, the coin became obsolete by the early 1990s, partly due to inflation and production costs outweighing its face value. In 1992, the Royal Australian Mint ceased production of 1 and 2 cent coins. From then on, cash transactions were rounded to the nearest 5 cents. The 1989 Australian 2-cent coin represents the tail end of a circulating era. Though modest in face value, it carries historical and cultural weight, from its depiction of native fauna to its portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. For collectors, it marks a closing chapter in Australia's bronze coinage, an era of beautifully designed coins that are increasingly hard to find in mint condition. The Australia 2 cents coin from 1969, covering its history, geography, circulation and uncirculated conditions, proof value, and more. Issuing country, Australia. Monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. Coin denomination, 2 cents, 2 cents. Year of minting, 1969. Series start, 2-cent coins were first introduced in 1966, coinciding with Australia's transition from the pound to the decimal system. Purpose, part of Australia's decimal coinage system, replacing the pre-decimal penny and other imperial units. Features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Designer, Arnold Machin, whose effigy was used on Australian coins from 1966 to 1984. Inscriptions, Elizabeth II Australia 1969. Reverse, back. Depicts a frilled neck lizard, Chlamydosaurus kingii, a unique Australian reptile. Designer, Stuart Devlin, a renowned Australian goldsmith and coin designer. Composition, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin, bronze. Weight, 5.18 grams. Diameter, 21.59 millimeters. Edge, plain, smooth. Shape, round. Minted at Royal Australian Mint, Canberra. Mintage, 1969, approximately 145,200,000 coins. Circulation, these coins were widely circulated throughout Australia until 1992, when the 1C and 2C coins were officially withdrawn due to inflation and high production costs. Primary circulation, throughout Australia. Secondary use, occasionally found in nearby countries, e.g., New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, particularly in border or tourist regions. Fine, F minor details visible, heavy wear, value, 10 to 20 cents AUD. Very fine, VF more details, moderate wear, value, 25 to 40 cents AUD. Extremely fine, EF light wear on high points, value, 50 to 75 cents AUD. About uncirculated, AU slight traces of wear, value, $1 AUDL. No wear, mint luster intact. Value, $2 to $5 AUD depending on luster and strike quality. Struck with polished dies for collectors. These were not issued for general circulation but through mint sets. Value, proof, in original packaging $10 to $20 AUD. Proof coins have sharp details, mirror-like surfaces, and are struck at least twice. The 1969 2C is common, given the high mintage. No known major errors or variants make it a key date coin. Most value comes in uncirculated or proof conditions. Value, often sold to copper recyclers or novelty collectors. Although demonetized in 1992, 2C coins remain legal tender, but are no longer accepted in cash transactions. Still accepted by the Reserve Bank of Australia for face value redemption. Often used in jewelry, crafts, and educational kits today. Would you like a visual reference or table comparing values across different years or grades? The Australian Elizabeth II 2 cents coin from 1966, covering its history, design, geography, circulation and uncirculated conditions, and proof coin value. Australia transitioned to decimal currency on February 14, 1966, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence system. The 2 cent coin, introduced as part of this new system, was among the first decimal coins issued. Denomination introduced, 2 cents, 2 cents. First year of issue, 1966. Monarch featured, Queen Elizabeth II, first portrait used on Australian decimal coins. Obverse, front features the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Mackin, facing right, wearing a tiara. Reverse, back depicts a frill-necked lizard, Chlamydosaurus kingii, designed by Stuart Devlin, a renowned Australian goldsmith and jeweler. Edge, plain. Specifications. Geographical circulation. The 2 cent coin was circulated across the entirety of Australia and also found use in territories such as Norfolk Island, Christmas Island, Cocos, Keeling Islands. The coins were commonly used for small transactions until their eventual withdrawal from circulation. 1966 mintage, approximately 217.73 million coins, making it the highest mintage for this denomination. Circulated lifespan, from 1966 until 1992, when production for circulation ceased due to inflation and rising metal prices. Official withdrawal, in 1992, the coin was removed from active circulation but remained legal tender. Conditions and values. Circulated condition. Coins in average circulated condition hold modest collector value. Value, around 10 cents to 50 cents AUD, depending on wear and preservation. Uncirculated, mint state, coins are coins that have never been used in commerce. These are valued higher, especially in original mint packaging. Value, between $2 to 10 Australian dollars, depending on luster, surface marks, and grading. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies for collectors. The 1966 Proof 2C coin was included in Royal Australian Mint proof sets. These were not struck for general circulation. Note, grading agencies like PCGS or NGC can certify coins, increasing market value significantly. First year of issue, being the first decimal 2C coin, the 1966 edition is historically significant. Stuart Devlin's design, celebrated for its distinctly Australian wildlife representation. Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, the Mackin effigy is iconic, representing early decimal coinage. Collectability and market tips. Look for coins with full details on the frill-necked lizard, clear legends, and minimal wear. Coins from original proof sets or rolls command premium prices. Avoid heavily worn or corroded coins unless collecting for historical value. Would you like a visual chart of the coin's values by condition, or an image of the coin itself? The Australia 2 cents coin from 1974, including its history, design, production, circulation conditions, uncirculated versions, and valuation. This script is suitable for educational or collector presentations. The 2-cent coin from Australia minted in 1974 is a significant piece in the history of Australian decimal currency. It features the reigning monarch Queen Elizabeth II and serves as both a monetary instrument and a piece of cultural heritage. Decimalization. Australia transitioned to decimal currency on February 14, 1966, replacing the pre-decimal pound system. The 2-cent coin was introduced as part of this transition, intended to replace the old penny and halfpenny coins. Monarch. The coin bears the image of Queen Elizabeth II, who was the sovereign of Australia in 1974. Her portrait is used on all Australian coinage as a symbol of the Commonwealth and her status as head of state. Obverse. Front. Portrait, Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Mackin. Inscription, Elizabeth. 2 Australia 1974 inch. This design was used on Australian coins from 1966 to 1984. Reverse, back. Design, a frilled neck lizard, Chlamydosaurus kingii, an iconic Australian reptile. Designer, Stuart Devlin, renowned for his modern and elegant coin designs. Denomination, 2. The frill-necked lizard, with its expanded frill and defensive posture, was chosen to reflect Australia's unique fauna. Metal, bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. Weight, 5.18 grams. Diameter, 21.59 millimeters. Edge, plain. The bronze composition gives the coin a warm, reddish hue and was typical of lower denominations at the time. Mintage in 1974. Approximately 145.2 million coins. The 1974 2-cent coin was minted for general circulation, and it is considered common in circulated grades. Due to the large mintage, these coins were used widely across Australia during the 1970s and into the 1980s. In circulated condition, the coin typically exhibits surface wear, particularly on the high points of the lizard and queen's portrait. Dulling or patina due to handling and age. Potential minor nicks or scratches. Value in circulated condition, 2025 market. Typical retail value, 5 cents to 50 cents AUD depending on condition. Bulk lots, often sold in groups to collectors or crafters. Bright luster with no signs of wear. Higher collector interest due to preserved detail, proof coins. Specially struck using polished dies and planchets for collectors. Not released for general circulation. Often part of proof sets issued by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. Value in uncirculated or proof condition, 2025 estimates. Uncirculated, mint state 65 plus $3 to 10 Australian dollars. Proof version, in original set $15 to 25 Australian dollars. Graded examples, PCGS/NGC-MS 67 plus can fetch up to $50 or more depending on demand. The Australian 2-cent coin was withdrawn from circulation in 1992, primarily due to inflation reducing its purchasing power. Although withdrawn, the coins remain legal tender and are still accepted for transactions in theory. Many were melted down or recycled, but millions still remain in private collections and hoards. Collectors seek the 1974 2-cent coin due to its age and historical relevance. Iconic frilled neck lizard design. Bronze composition, now obsolete in coinage. Its role in the early decimal era of Australia. It's often included in complete decimal coin sets and is also popular in educational and thematic wildlife collections. Conclusion: the 1974 Australian 2-cent coin is a classic example of mid-20th century coin design. While common, it holds both numismatic and nostalgic value for many Australians and collectors worldwide. Whether found in an old coin jar or displayed in a proof set, it represents a fascinating chapter in Australia's monetary history. Would you like me to provide high-resolution images of this coin or a valuation table based on grading?